Welcome to your practice. We're going to do a sequence today to help open up all around the chest, the back, and the rib cage, those sticky spots for so many of us. So we're going to start actually seated. You may notice that I'm sitting on my shins and I'm boosted up on 2 blocks. If you have blocks or blankets or cushions, whatever you can use to comfortably sit on the shins, so we get a little stretch for the front of the thighs. And if that's just not manageable, then sit in any comfortable way for you. And maybe taking a moment, close the eyes, find that tall, upright spine, drop the shoulders, maybe closing the eyes, slowing down your breathing. And if you'd like to keep the eyes closed, please do. Or if at any point you don't quite understand what I'm suggesting, then feel free to look up here. We're going to interlace the fingers, press the palms forward, and then take the arms up overhead as you keep those front ribs descending. So as the arms go up, not puffing the chest, anchoring the tailbone. So much of our time is spent moving forward, propelling forward. So taking a moment to lean back. And then once you get the arms as high as they're going to go, hug the biceps in. Feel like you want to pull the hands apart. Softening the expression on your face. Feeling that length through the side seam of the body. And then releasing the arms, you're going to interlace the hands behind the back. Draw the arms back so you get a little bit of that spread across the collarbones. And then you'll swing the hands over to the right side of the waist or the hip. And then hug the elbows together behind you. Lower your chin towards your chest and take your left ear to your left shoulder. And again, I already noticed I've got that arm behind my back and I'm letting it push me forward. So instead, soften back into that arm, staying here. Using the hands to anchor that right hip like you're smoothing out any wrinkles along the shirt. Just a gentle squeeze of the arms behind you. Heavy head, heavy jaw. Take another moment. And then release the arms, release the head. Coming back upright with the spine. We're going to do that again on the second side, but we're going to slide each finger down one. So awkward interlace. Press the palms forward. Take the arms up. As the arms go up, feeling that length ripple all the way up from the hips, through the waist, through the spine, up through the chest, the armpits, and then eventually through the arms, the hands, and the fingers. And then find that balance of lifting up without pushing too far, too hard forward. A little squeeze of the biceps in towards the head, the tug of the hands apart. Softening out your facial features. Take one more breath around the full circumference of the lungs and the ribs, not just the front. Fill the back, the sides. And then release the arms. Interlace behind the back, but go the awkward way. So slide each finger down one. Take that moment to lift the chest. And then swing the hands over to the left waist, hip or waist. Hug the arms behind you. Drop your chin. Right ear to right shoulder. Use the hands, the arms to anchor that hip down. Let gravity take control of the head. You're not clenching down on the jaw. Let that low mid-back fill into the forearm. And then release the arms, eventually lifting the gaze. You're going to shift forward into down dog. We are going to come back into the seat, so you might just keep the blocks where they are. I'm going to pivot around from this point. So if you can work around whatever you're seated on, great. If you need to move it out of the way, that's fine. You can grab it again. And come into a down dog for several moments and move around as much as you want. Fidget in the body. See what else might need your attention. Good. All right, and then come back down to that seat. So bend the knees, feet to the mat. Finding that upright spine. We'll take the arms out to the sides and then right arm under the left for eagle arms. Finding your variation and grab the shoulders, backs of the hands or palms. Lift the elbows, move the hands away from the face and squeeze those arms together. And similar to the last shape, just feeling that you're not overly pressing forward, also not slumping backwards, but that tailbone is an anchor. And from that anchor, the spine, the core lifts up. Good. Release the arms. You're going to tip over to the right. Take a side bend to the right side. Take that left arm up and over with you. And then coming back up to center. And eagle arms with the left arm on the bottom. Squeeze the arms. If possible, move the hands away from the face. The front of the spine, soften into the back. Here's a light squeeze of the feet, the ankles around that block, cushion. The base of the skull slightly drawing back and up. And then release the arms. Side bending over to the left. And then coming upright. And again, you're going to go to down dog. We will one more time find that seat, so you might keep the blocks where they are. A moment to fidget. And then holding your dog pose, finding steadiness. And then with an inhale, come forward to plank. Let those inner biceps lead the way. And then exhale back to dog pose, tops of the thighs pulling you back. And several times, inhaling forward to plank, top of your push-up. Exhaling back, downward facing dog. Come forward, feel that potential, the length of the spine. Lifting out of the hands. And then as you draw back, the hips and thighs, give that little stretch for the spine. Good, one more. Coming forward with an in-breath. And drawing back with that out-breath. And then drop the knees. Find your seat one more time. Actually, I'm going to turn to face you again. I think it'll be a little more clear. So we're going to get into the wrist, in particular the median nerve, which runs all the way down into the pinky finger. So those of us that move mouses or type on keyboards gets maybe a little triggered. So you're going to put the palms out to the side like you're saying stop. You're going to press out through the palms, but pull the fingers back towards the top of the forearm. So you press as much as you can through the heel of the hand, pull the fingers back. If it's really singy, then maybe you lower the arms so they're not exactly at shoulder height. This takes everything in me not to clench my jaw. Keep pressing out. You try to get the arms as straight as you can. Pull the fingers back. What's happening with the spine? And then one finger at a time, you're gonna curl those fingers in and make your fists. And you're gonna draw the fist down and like you wanna curl them to the underside of the forearm. So you're still pressing out through the hands, but now it's the back of the hand that's pressing out. The fingers are curling underneath. Arms are straight as you can get them. And then we're gonna rotate the arms externally. So we spin those fists up. Inner biceps roll up. And then one finger at a time, you're gonna open the palms like a blossoming flower. Press out through the palms. Pull the fingers back to the top of the forearm, just like you started, but now you're flipped upside down. Pressing, pressing, pressing. Pull those fingers back. Not biting off your jaw. That's for me. Leaning back into that spine. Anchor the tailbone. Last breath. And then release the arms. You might give them a little shake or some circles. And then last thing, seated, you'll take your right arm up towards the ceiling, pat yourself on the back. Left hand's gonna grab that right elbow. You're gonna lift up through the right side and then find a little tilt over to the left. So imagine that line coming all the way from the hip, up and over. Good, then come back up through center. Keep the right arm where it is. Take that left arm back out to the side. Internally rotate the arm and then swing the arm behind the back. And not going for the bind, but just sliding right into that low back. Press the base of the skull back into the arm. Again, anchor that tailbone, lift up through the chest. Good. And then release the arms. And one more time, we're gonna add that side bend. So tipping over to the right, left arm up and over. And then back up to center. And second side, left arm is gonna go up. You pat yourself on the back. Right hand grabs the elbow. You lift up through the side and then over to the right. And let that over come all the way from the hip, not just the arm and the chest. Good, then back up to center. You keep the left arm where it is. Right arm out to the side. You internally rotate. Swing the arm behind the back. Again, don't feel like you need to force yourself into that bind. Just slide it right into the low back. Use the feedback of the hands, the arms, to rest back into. Lifting the front and the back of the spine up. Spread the fingers, the palm of that left hand in particular. And then release the arms, leaning over to the left. And then back upright and back into down dog. And now you can move whatever you're seated on off to the side. And actually, maybe if you were using blocks, putting them towards the front. We're gonna do a little bit of lunging so you might realize you want them. Okay, when you get to down dog, you'll inhale forward to plank. This time we're gonna lower all the way to the ground. You can use the knees if you like. And then reach the arms back by your sides, interlace the fingers together, then draw those knuckles down, lift the arms, firmly root through the feet, and then float the chest, the back of the head up. Good, looking down on the cheeks, slightly drop the chin. Let those inner thighs roll up towards the ceiling, but not losing the contact of the big toes. And one more breath. And then slowly lower, palms under the shoulders, and press back into a child's pose. Separate the knees enough that the belly has room. And then walking the hands over to the right, finding a side stretch. And then back through center, over to the left. And then back to center. Walk those fingers forward, stretch through the arms. And then lifting to tabletop and moving through several rounds of cat-cow or your own interpretation. Getting that spine moving. Eventually moving back to your dog pose. And then walking your feet up between your hands. Pausing in a forward bend. Good. And then inhaling halfway, reaching the chest forward, maybe coming up a little higher so you feel those upper back muscles engage. And then exhale back into the fold. And doing that again, inhaling halfway. And exhale, fold. And one more time, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Good. And then either hands to ground or hands to blocks. You're going to step the left foot back for a lunge. Get low as you want. Left fingertips on something, block or ground or palm on something. You're going to twist to the right. So you turn to the right and take that arm up. You can let the pelvis turn. I don't know if you could see that, but my left hip dropped a little bit. So the turn starts with the pelvis. And imagine you had a wall in front of you that you're pressing that right hand into to help you turn a little bit more. If you want to lift the head and look up at the hand, I often opt to look straight out to the side. Good. And then lower that right hand down. Pull the hips back, straighten that front leg, and just a breath to fold. Inhaling and exhaling. And then bend the knee, push off that back foot to step forward and switch the legs. Right foot back, right hand or fingertips on something. You're going to turn to the left, twist, take that left arm up. That right hand or fingertips, whatever it's on, scrub back a little bit and then press your left hand into that imaginary wall to help you turn. Remember to let the pelvis go with you. Reach the crown of the head forward and that right heel back. Another breath. And then lower the hand down, draw the hips back, straighten that left leg, and let yourself drape over the thigh. Inhaling the breath, exhaling it out. Good. Then bending the knee, stepping that back foot forward, and fold. Good. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Good. Left foot back, left knee down. You're going to walk the right foot out to the right, so you move that block if you're using it inside. Pivot the toes out to the side. So you have your heel on the mat, your toes off. And then we're going to add the twist here. So you can bring the right hand to the right thigh and turn. You might stay here. Some of you might choose to go for the quad stretch and the bind. You bend that back knee and reach back with the right hand. And then personally for me, I like to find a little buoyancy in the hips here. So instead of letting them sink down, I press that right heel down and lift the hips up slightly. Kick the foot into the hand to help you turn that right shoulder open. Scrub the left hand back. Maybe lean back a little bit through the throat, the head. Good. And then release the foot if you have it. Bring that right hand back down, slide that right foot back in towards the middle, and then wiggle it forward slightly. And then you'll pull the hips back, straighten that right leg, press down through that right heel as you draw the toes, the hips back. And then instead of feeling like you need to get a long spine, just one breath to drape yourself over that right leg. And then bending the knee. Whew. Lifting that left knee, stepping forward and switching the legs. Right foot back, right knee down. We'll start with that wider stance. So you'll bring your hand or the block inside, wiggle the foot out to the left, and then pivot. So the toes turn out, the heel in. Left hand to left thigh. You turn the chest. If you want to go for the bind, you bend the knee, reach back, grab the foot. Kick the foot into the hand to help you turn. Drag that right hand or fingertips back and then let yourself lean back. And then release the foot. Bring that left hand down. Walk the left foot back in. And then slide it forward an inch or two. And draw those hips back. Press the left heel down. Imagine you wanted to drag the heel back and drape over the leg. Good. And then bending the knee. This time, we're going to go back to dog pose. And you could do that with hands on blocks or you can get rid of them. Good. Inhale forward to plank. This time you're going to lower just a little bit, just a little push up. And then into an upward facing dog. So tops of the feet down, pull the chest forward and through, draw those shoulders back. Draw the hands back. Good. And then thighs pull you back to down dog, like a big sail. Good. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Good. Then lower the knees. Grab your blocks. And you're going to take the blocks towards the back of the mat for supported fish. So I like the block that's doing the back bending on mama bear. So baby bear, mama bear. And then for me, the block under the head needs to be one step higher. So you're going to have one block under the shoulder blades, one block supporting the head. But you get to choose the height if you want to take it down. And anywhere behind the shoulder blades. Feet can be on the ground, knees bent, or you can stretch the legs forward towards straight. Arms could be out to the sides. Sometimes I like to reach the arms up towards the ceiling, grab opposite elbows, and then take the arms overhead and see if I can hang them on that little sliver of the block. I can turn the block and give myself a little ledge to rest on. And we won't be here very long, but take a few breaths all the way around the rib cage, allowing the lungs to expand. Three more breaths. Inhaling. Exhaling 1. Inhaling. Exhaling 2. Inhaling. Exhaling 3. And I like to roll to a side to get off the blocks, but you could always sit up. And then you're going to take them towards the front of the mat now. We're going to come onto our backs, but we're going to put our feet on the blocks. So we're going to do a few bridges, but we're going to elevate the feet so we can maybe get a little more height or opening across the chest. So my feet are longer than the blocks, and I opt for the toes hanging off, but having the heel and the ball of the foot on the block. Should feel a little more stable. And then you're going to reach down and grab the edges of your mat and pull the mat apart. So as you pull the mat apart, see if you can feel the inner bicep roll up towards the ceiling, the outer shoulder drop towards the floor. So we're going to set the shoulders like they're 2 extra feet. And then press down through your feet, your actual feet, and lift the hips up. Now that you've come up, you might be able to walk the shoulders in towards one another. You don't need to walk them down, but just in. And then keep pulling the mat apart and see if you can feel that external rotation of the upper arm bone. Good. Press the feet down. Keep those knees tracking forward. Imagine you could pull the heels back towards you. Good. Take another breath. And then slowly lower down. Good, we're gonna do that same thing again. Just take one breath to land. And then press the feet down, pull the mat apart, lift the hips. Come high onto those shoulders. You might walk them underneath you. Again, not down, but in. Pull the mat apart. Roll those biceps up. Good, one more breath. And then slowly lower down. Okay, either repeating that one more time or wheel pose. So if you're going for wheel pose, you set the hands up on either side of the head. Lately, I've been going wider, even wider than shoulder width. That feels a little better on my sticky upper traps. So bridge pose repeating or wheel if you want. Press down through the feet. If you're going for wheel, you land on the top of the head, pause, and then press all the way up. Good, few breaths. Really feeling those shoulder blades move in towards one another to lift the heart. Good, feel the ball mounds on the ground or on the block so you're not rolling in or out, heels pressing down. Last breath. And then come all the way down, tucking that chin if you're in wheel, then lowering the hips. And pause. All right, feet off the blocks, soles of the feet together. Use those blocks to slide to the outer thighs, outer shins. Arms can rest out to the sides or maybe you rest them on the body. Take a moment with a neutral spine. Coming down out of those energizing back bends to slow your breath. Gather the knees together. Hug the legs in. Rocking a little. And then drawing yourself up to a seat. Maybe ending the way you began, propped up on the shins. You can rest the hands in the lap or on the thighs, or if you like that gesture, hand on the heart or the palms folded together in prayer. The shoulders, not just draw back, but the strong back lifting up to support that soft front body. Seeing what's here for you now. Anything you'd like to carry with you. Or anything you want to leave behind. It's no longer working or serving you. Closing with one last slow breath in. And a generous breath out. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.